We try not to look at our numbers too often, just naturally, because we don't necessarily need that day-to-day feedback. But I mean, I have the stock market page open right now because it is a very volatile time. It was down big yesterday, then it was up somewhat today, up big the day before yesterday, then down before that. And I think we've lost about 120,000 or so over the last few days.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Courtney.
And we are 38 and 35-year-old early retirees living out in the middle of the desert in an off-grid house.
When we met, we both had full-time jobs working in IT. When we decided to get married and move in together, we all of a sudden had two very good incomes for Tucson, two homes, and that's where we had to ask ourselves a question.
We could either live like rock stars and expensive vacations, expensive meals, or we can save the majority of what we earn and decide what to do with the rest of our lives.
Yes. Then we started saving pretty aggressively.
We did. We paid $71,500 for the house.
And then very quickly added our solar system that Steve did completely, which was another $25,000.
What appealed to us about the house was the price, the acreage, and the square footage of the house. Because we didn't want something big, but we wanted enough property to let us spread out a little bit.
And then location because of the community and the off-grid part of it. No electrical ties, no water, no sewer, no trash, no cable. That saves us at least $150 to $200 a month because we live off-grid.
You good? Hey, taco toast?
Cheers.
Cheers.
As we sit today, we're down $140,000 after this whole market fluctuation that's happening. So we're almost at $1 million now, a little bit above.
We were up to 1.2, but we're prepared for that, and we know that's going to happen. And
well, that's the nature and the risk of being heavily invested in the stock market. Because when the stock market does well, we do well, but when it doesn't, we don't. And that's a part. That risk is essentially a part of what we agreed to informally as we went through our fire plan. FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Two different concepts about acquiring the money you need to sustain your lifestyle for the rest of your life while standing a reasonably good chance of never having to earn another dime of income again.
how much money we needed to save to retire early was very dependent on how we were going to live once we retired early. That was about $35,000 a year, and that made it so we could figure out our FIRE number using the 4% rule. So the fixed costs that we have to do every month are a little over $2,000. We know we have some other costs coming up this year: vet appointments, automotive stuff, and Airstream repairs. The rest is our fund money. That flexes based on the market. That's how, if the market's not doing well and our net worth shrinks, then our 4% also shrinks. And we very easily can scale back the fund money and just be a little bit more frugal on those things for a few months or however long it takes.
I guess in some ways, the FIRE community is kind of a fad in that, well, a lot of people have realized how much money they could save and make, but only when the market's been good.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people might realize, if they've never been through a recession before, what this does to your net worth, what this does to your level of comfort that you have enough money. The key is to build an efficient support system for when you don't have all that money coming in, whether that's cost of living, you keep that down, moving to another place, Maybe it's taken on some more work, maybe it's a side hustle, whatever that looks like. Don't just assume that the market's always going to be great, because as we've seen recently, clearly it's not. I don't like pushing fire on people because it's not going to be right for everybody. I do push the FI part. I do not push the RE part. Because like we've said, some people get incredible value out of their jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You want those people in
however,
those
the
jobs.
FI part, the financial independence part, or the financial freedom, however you want to determine it, gives you options.
Yes.
Because you may no longer like your job next year. And if you are financially independent, or at least close to it, you can choose to do something else with your time if it comes to that. You have no idea what's going to happen in the future, and if you're FI, that gives you a lot of choices.